Hi friends, welcome to the heart of Davis County, Centerville, Utah, where the vibes are as friendly as the folks who call it home. I'm your guide to this little slice of heaven, ready to spill the beans on the top 8 pros and cons of living in this family-friendly town. So pull up a chair and let's dive in to the warm embrace of Centerville. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything about living in Salt Lake City, Utah, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Salt Lake City, Utah and surrounding suburbs. My name is Janet with Living in Salt Lake City. We get calls and emails every day from people just like you looking for help to make a move to Salt Lake City, Utah and surrounding suburbs, and we absolutely love it. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. My information is in the description below so that you can make a smooth move and we can help you come to Salt Lake City, Utah and surrounding suburbs. Okay, I want to let you in on a little secret. Buying is 100% emotional. It is typical that at some point during the process, you will become completely blinded by fear. We have so many hopes and dreams all tied up in our homes. Our lifestyle, well-being, time with family, friendships, community are all dependent on where we live. It takes getting out of your comfort zone to make a move. It is a big change. Even if you know that the best move ever is to change homes, you will still feel paralyzed. When you start your home search, a good place is to focus on the city. What matters most to you? What do you love about it? Are there any deal breakers? Again, start making a list of thoughts that keep coming up. What is your biggest motivator? Guess what? Most of the time, it is not what you think it is. You want to be logical. You want to focus on the actual house hunting. You want to be able to see some beautiful photos and find the one with the perfect floor plan. That's not how it goes. Here's how it works. We start with a list of possible cities. We set a maximum qualification amount, and then we decide a minimum number of bedrooms and bathrooms. From there, we start to narrow it down as we start to see the options. We might eliminate a city, we might add a city, we might decide that we can lower it from a 4-bedroom minimum to a 3-bedroom minimum if it keeps us in a current city. We could decide that that 2-car garage that originally was a must and non-negotiable can now be a 1-car garage if it keeps us in the school district that we really want. It is a fun and bumpy journey. It takes introspect, and believe me, you will feel a lot of things. Most of my clients are caught off guard by their overwhelming emotional state, but it makes sense. You are about to make a life-changing decision. You are likely about to make the biggest investment of your life. Then there's the whole other side of emotion if you are moving from a home that you already currently own, that you've previously purchased. The memories, the hopes, the dreams of that current home will start to tug at your heartstrings. You will know it's time to make a move. You will logically realize that you're doing the right thing. But when I ask you to paint over the wall that has the marks in the hall where you charted your children's growth patterns, you might just cry. When I ask you to neutralize and stage your current home, it will feel really strange to start viewing your home as a place that will soon belong to someone else. But don't worry, we'll get through it together. We'll get through the home buying and selling process one step at a time. We will learn and we will grow as we take each step as you become ready for the next. Just know that it is normal and typical to have huge, and I mean huge, emotions. I am your guide and we are going to go on a discovery journey. It will be lots of fun. It will be 100% worth it. I have a client who's an engineer. He came to me with a spreadsheet. He had analyzed different specs and floor plans that he felt would work best for his family. We started looking at homes, and he would bring that spreadsheet with him and review homes against their needs. I was completely amused. I was convinced, like he was, that if we could find the home that matched the requirements, we were golden. Then we found it, the perfect home. It checked all the boxes, and it didn't have the feels. It wasn't the one. Soon after, his wife found a home that she loved. We went and we looked at it. He all but had to throw away the spreadsheet. It was not the floor plan that he thought would work best. It wasn't in the city that logically made sense that he deducted was the right one. But he felt it. He and his wife both caught the vision of the home. It was in a cul-de-sac. It was close to family and work. The schools were highly recommended by a close friend. Here's the funny thing. The layout was nothing like what he expected would work. He had to compromise on one of his biggest non-negotiables. He did not want to have to finish a basement. I still laugh when I imagine his face, and I could read the surprise as he accepted that this home was indeed the one, the home where they would be the happiest. He was not a big talker, but he sheepishly set aside his checklist and admitted that, as strange as it might be, he was in love with the home, even though it was not what he had originally imagined it to be. Homes and people match. There is a true connection. It is an amazing opportunity to be a part of this process. I know how to help you step by step so that you can accomplish your goals. I'm a problem solver. Together we will tackle inspections, clarifying lender process, and make it to the finish line. We will conquer your fears and we will fulfill your dreams. So, as I mentioned, we are talking about Centerville, Utah, which is a suburb just north of downtown Salt Lake City. It is about 20 to 25 minutes from downtown and the international airport. If you stay with me, we will discover the pros and cons to see if the pros outweigh the cons, so that you can either start exploring homes in Centerville or cross it right off your list. Let's start with pro number one, which is the vibe. Centerville is quaint and has a charming atmosphere. Centerville has that small town charm that makes you feel like you're in the heart of a tight-knit community. When out and about, you can mostly count on friendly faces and pleasant interactions. Family come first in Centerville. The community values are strong, creating an environment that's perfect for raising children. Centerville boasts a movie theater to catch the latest blockbuster, but best of all, it has a vibrant local theater called Centerpoint Legacy, offering captivating performances and cultural experiences. If you have children who are interested in acting, or even if they want to give it a try, or even if you want to give it a try, Centerpoint has fabulous opportunities. The locals enjoy honing their acting skills and debuting their love for the theater on the stage. The shows are always entertaining. They also have a well-loved academy for learning. The Centerpoint Academy motto is, "You belong here." The academy caters to ages 3 to 18. The children receive training in performing arts, including musical theater, tap, jazz, and voice. The academy works to teach the children how to be the best version of themselves. The musical theater, dance, and voice training is offered top-notch, provided by the best local working artists. The end result for the vast majority of their students isn't the Broadway stage. Instead, they use the arts to teach lessons that matter in any facet of life: confidence, discipline, leadership, self-esteem, teamwork, friendship, and creativity. The students learn these universal skills and become an asset anywhere that they go: at school, at work, in the community, at church, at home. On top of this, the Academy provides unique performance opportunities to these students on the Centerpoint theater stages, performing for more than 10,000 people per year in over 100 performances and over a dozen shows. This is just one example of Centerville community and how they come together. Centerville is not just a place to live, it's a gateway to Utah's cultural and recreational treasures. Pro number 2 is the convenient location. Centerville is strategically located amidst the remarkable recreational and cultural opportunities along the Wasatch Front. It has a population of almost 17,000 people. Centerville is a hidden gem that offers the best of both worlds. Nestled in the heart of one of the nation's fastest growing regions, Centerville maintains its cherished small town atmosphere while providing the conveniences of modern living. Centerville provides a unique shopping and dining experience. You can explore major retailers like Home Depot, Walmart, Target, and Kohl's, making your everyday shopping a breeze. When it comes to dining, you're spoiled for choices with a variety of options that cater to every palate. If you want to get a better feel for the area, you will want to check out my vlog video where I show you around town and give you a feel for different price points. Within a 45-minute drive, you'll find access to 8 major ski resorts, making winter sports and mountain adventures easily accessible. The cultural treasures of downtown Salt Lake, including Ballet West, Utah Symphony, Temple Square, and other significant sporting events at the Delta Center, are a mere 20 minutes away. Summer activities include hiking, biking, boating, and swimming, just to name a few, that are only a mere 45 minutes drive, or even closer if you choose to go to a local trail or park. In my map video, I give you an orientation to the different driving options and even more details about the available housing opportunities in the area. So if you like what you hear so far, you will want to watch that next. Like the surrounding cities, there are plenty of parks and open spaces scattered throughout Centerville, providing the perfect backdrop for individual, family, and group activities. Whether you're into picnics, hiking, or simply enjoying the great outdoors, Centerville has it all. Pro number 3 is scenic beauty at every turn and outdoor activities for all seasons. Prepare for a visual feast. Centerville is surrounded by nature's wonder with amazing scenic views. For those of you who love the outdoors, Centerville is a dream come true. Hiking, biking, and camping opportunities abound, turning every weekend into a little mini adventure. Having lived in Utah most of my life, I forget just how beautiful it really is. The mountains are a beautiful backdrop to everyday living. There are always options to get out and enjoy nature. One of our family favorites is Bear Lake. It is less than 2 hours from Centerville. It is a beautiful place to take a weekend trip. Garden City is a cute little town, and it is famous for its raspberry shakes, so I highly recommend getting one if you go. It is close enough that you might not even mind taking a quick day trip if you don't mind a little extra driving. Pine View Reservoir is less than an hour away. It's a great place to enjoy paddleboarding, swimming, boating, or just playing in the sun. Both options are north of Salt Lake City and Centerville. I introduce you to many other fun hidden gems in my other videos, so stay tuned for more travel adventure ideas. Pro number 4 are the top-notch schools. Education is a priority, and Centerville boasts excellent schools that focus on providing a nurturing learning opportunity for the kiddos. Davis County School District is ranked number 5 out of 187 districts in Utah. There are several charter schools that are options if you are looking for something a little bit more specific that maybe a public school doesn't offer. Charter schools have an entry by lottery. They are privately run, and they each have their own emphasis. For example, my daughter goes to Legacy, which is in Woods Cross. They focus on the 7 Habits of Stephen Covey. They have an emphasis on the arts. The children have an opportunity to explore theater, music, and dance. If you are looking for something specific that suits your child's needs, I bet you will find it. Switching over to con number 1 is general to Utah. Utah is an earthquake-prone region. If you make a move to Centerville, you will want to have an emergency plan. There are some great city and state plans in place. There's also a lot of education available to help you prepare. One of the largest monumental icons of Utah in Salt Lake City is the Salt Lake City Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Temple. It is currently undergoing major renovations to assure that it is earthquake safe. They are adding spires to the north addition and interior reinforcements. The original construction of the temple took 40 years. The end goal is not only to reinforce the temple structure, but to add beauty to an allure to the surrounding areas in downtown Salt Lake. In March of 2020, during COVID, as if it wasn't Enough psychological trauma, Utah experienced a 5.7 magnitude earthquake. One of the biggest memes from the experience was created from the statue that is atop the Salt Lake City temple who dropped his trumpet. The earthquake was the main factor in the decision to complete an intensive renovation to the entire church property in the downtown Salt Lake City area. The epicenter of the quake was northeast of Magna, which is 30 minutes from my home. It was the largest earthquake Utah has experienced since 1992. I know, you might be thinking that I'm a wimp, but honestly, come on, give me a break. I was working mostly like normal as an essential worker in this strange COVID world. My daughter was doing homeschool, and it was around 7 a.m. in the morning. I was walking down the stairs when everything started to shake. I was literally tossed back and forth. Things were falling off my walls, and I turned to run back up to my daughter. She was sleeping peacefully until I ran in the room freaking out, and then a pitcher from a decorative shelf above her head fell on her. I was a mess. She still teases me about being a little melodramatic. My parents, who live 45 minutes south, felt it, but they were not fazed. My brother, who lives about an hour north, felt it, but again, he just went about his business with no real effects. I, however, was picking up decor that had fallen to the ground, and I was cleaning up broken vases and reattaching shelves that had come loose and went crashing to the ground. So needless to say, you will want to have at least a basic knowledge of earthquake preparedness if the big one hits Utah. Con number 2 is the air quality. Like many places, Centerville can experience occasional air quality issues, especially during certain seasons. The Wasatch Front creates the perfect storm. Poor air quality in Utah is due to the mountainous topography, which can cause pollutants to build up near the surface, especially during inversion. Combined with the prevalence of emissions from gasoline and diesel-powered vehicles, especially older models, Utah's hot, dry, and windy climate creates the perfect place for pollens to travel and thrive without being weighed down. With this being said, volatile Utah weather can sometimes help reduce pollens in the air with the right conditions. If you experience asthma or if you have allergies, you might experience some discomfort during certain times of the year. Currently, as the weather is changing from spring to summer, there has been an increase of allergy among my family and friends. Con number 3 is water conservation issues. Due to the climate, water conservation is crucial and residents are mindful of their water usage. Just a few years ago, everyone was asked to limit the amount of outdoor watering that they did. Many parks, schools, and residents are finally recovering from the dead lawns and foliage. Utah is widely perceived to be a desert state, and statistically, it is the second driest state in the nation. About 33% of Utah is true desert. Utah's largest true desert areas are Canyonland and the Great Basin area. You also might need to invest in a good lotion and have a skincare routine to prevent feeling dry and itchy. It's always interesting to take a trip to a humid state and then come home to Utah and feel the difference. Moving on to con number 4, which is the cost of living. In Centerville, the cost of living is slightly above national average, especially when it comes to housing. The biggest challenge that you will find is the lack of available homes on the market. Centerville is a small town, and most residents are happy to just stay put. There are only a few new construction options to help alleviate the lack of inventory. Median household income is just over $113,000. The population has almost 87% homeownership, and only 69% of the residents actually have a mortgage. So there you have it. Centerville's allure lies in its ability to balance small town charm with big city convenience. You'll enjoy a 4-season climate that will welcome outdoor and natural lovers alike. Especially exceptional primary and secondary schools make Centerville an ideal destination for families. And there you have it, the top 8 pros and cons of living in Centerville, Utah. A place where the warmth of the community meets the beauty of nature, creating a haven that feels like home. So if you're ready for a life filled with friendly faces, outdoor adventure, and a strong sense of community, Centerville might just be the place for you. Happy exploring!